Okay, it is my pleasure to call to order the Board of Library Trustees Monterey Public Library meeting for this Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. We will begin with a roll call since I've just called to order. So please, Julia.
All right. Do we have Vice Chair Petty here?
Present.
Yes, we do. Trustee Jaffe, not here at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Do we have Trustee Morrow? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Awesome. Trustee Silverian? All right.
Here.
And then Delormier is absent.
She has an excused absence today. So the first thing on our agenda is for you two
All right.
to make an update, tell the board about the Friends and Foundation activities.
Certainly.
Great. We've been looking forward to this, and since we have no handouts, you're going to have to do a really good job.
We will do a thorough job. And we also, I did end up putting some notes together on the fundraising, so I can send it to you after the fact if you want to include it in anything, but we'll review it thoroughly.
So I'm Shannon Connor. I'm the current president of the Monterey Friends and Foundation, Monterey Public Library Friends and Foundation. I took over in July, so I can give a little update since then. We, at our July meeting, actually approved the retention of Allie as our fundraising consultant, as a contractor for us. And so she'll provide kind of an update on the fund development activities that we've been up to. But we obviously, NC Gives was a big, large success, in large part to a lot of Allie's work and the Fund Development Committee. We have, we've had book sales, we've had, we also actually did a late summer appeal last, I think it was September, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Went out September, which we hadn't done one of those in quite a few years, so that was good to get that out the door. I think we'll probably have plans to do that in the spring, another one in the spring. And let's see what other highlights. Obviously, we have chocolate and wine coming up. It's another big highlight for us. And I understand that in the past, the Board of Trustees has considered donating wine for that event. If that is an option, we would love to have your support in that way.
Specifically in the past, the board members have each individually decided, it's not a board activity, but
Sure.
To donate, that's something effervescent.
Yeah,
The
that's
bubbly.
the bubbles. That's what I hear.
As opposed to,
Yes.
a Chardonnay, well, as opposed to a Zin or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Where should you're going to tell us where we should bring those bottles, correct?
I think they're, the Wednesday crew that accepts the books down there is also prepared to receive donations there. They're like,
Books
bring
and
anything
wine.
you want.
Books and wine.
But in the meantime,
And they promise
of
not to
course,
drink it for 2 days.
they struggle with it,
Yeah.
but they'll be okay.
So the Wednesday of the same week as the event is coming
That
up,
would
is that what you're saying?
Or
Or
any
anytime.
Wednesday from now until
Oh.
then, or it can be, we have a lot of friends at the library who
Yeah.
usually can help get wine in the right place.
Drop
and
it
stop
off
by.
with me and I can bring it down.
Just
Yeah.
say in the past, maybe you take it up and leave it.
Yeah.
You can, yeah, my office used to be the room and it can still be that. So
Thank you.
I can move it, me and Julie can move
Yeah.
it down to the basement. So yeah,
Space.
feel free.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Do
yeah,
you
go
want
ahead.
questions after?
Oh, no.
Questions during?
we can do
Is
different.
it all right?
Or
just
what
to
Chair
if I
has
ask
ever-
her a question?
I would maybe do after, because
Oh,
I think
okay.
we've had a lot we're
That's
gonna
fine.
get through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
let them finish
Yeah,
and then
thank you.
That's the last question.
we won't zip on without your raising your.
Sure. So, and then in the last couple of months, we've been working with Brian to kind of identify the specific funding needs that the Friends can really help with. And I think what we've identified and discussed at our last board meeting specifically were electronic resources. So zip books being kind of a zip books and language learning kind of being highlighted there. And as well as potentially funding to help make this makerspace a little bit more accessible by maybe helping to fund a part-time position for someone to staff the makerspace. And then the last piece kind of being a funding for kind of some larger author talks to be open to the community and kind of a community education, but author talks with authors that maybe would be in larger venues, perhaps the conference center, just to kind of make those kind of some maybe larger community-based events as well.
Have there not been presentations by authors from time to time already? Usually, I think in the community room.
We have, and I think the bigger picture thing we're trying to discuss with Brian that is a good tee up for some of the fundraising stuff I'll go over.
Yeah.
Is if we are hoping to raise more money, if that's sort of our goal here, like let's elevate our fundraising, what do we do then with more funds? Because what we were doing is these sort of reactive things, or he was coming up with quarterly wish lists, which ended up being a lot of to-dos and a lot of tasks that then went back to him and staff to figure out how to make these things happen that we just got funding for. So we tried to, strategize and back it up. On a bigger picture, how could we make this more proactive and thoughtful about where funds can be best utilized instead of 10K here, 15K there kind of things. And so the categories that came up were sort of the ones she was talking about. They're like these bigger priority areas of continuing with collection support with zip books and e-resources, author talks in a way that's elevated. So it's a way to bring new audiences to us. So instead of, right now we do have great author talks. The library does and Friends and Foundation has, but names that you might have to pay for and get a bigger venue for that bring new audiences and kind of new friends
Is what you're thinking of.
is what we're thinking of. And I think that's kind of what got Brian a little bit excited. Like, how do we sort of just elevate our status in terms of what the Monterey Public Library brings to the community?
Well, let me just say in that regard, I don't know if anybody in this room was connected with the library back when, and I was on the board years ago when there's a Chinese fellow who's a well-known cook. Is it Chan? Something Chan can cook or something like that.
Yes.
Yen
can cook.
Whatever.
Yes.
The library sponsored him, and you mentioned the conference center. That's why it popped in my mind. And he came, and besides mentioning a brand new cookbook that he had out, which of course I think any well-known author would want to do if they came in. But, and I have no idea if he was compensated other than book sales. My guess is he was. But anyhow, he came and he actually did a cooking demonstration on the stage with a portable, heat supply.
Yeah.
So he did that.
Yeah.
It was probably something run by propane and there was a grill on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's too far back from me. But anyhow, it was well attended is my point.
Yeah.
And that was something that attracted a lot of people. I mean, it was like a new book presentation, but it was also a skill type presentation. And
things like that. And then the other category was sort of continuing to support the furniture and improvements inside the library that help supplement the hopeful city-based capital needs. But then you always want once you have a new room, you need the pretty fixtures to go inside. So I do think that'll continue to be an area where we can support. And so we wanted to kind of create those key categories to stick with and try to get a little bit further away from the quick as needed small wish list items.
because usually the wish list was something that the friends would make and present it to the board. The board would just basically rubber stamp it.
Right.
And then it went to the city council who would rubber stamp it.
Yeah.
But it was generated by you guys
Brian.
and
Brian,
passed to us.
Prior to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first
But,
step.
I mean, thinking back in when Inga,
Right.
it would go through her one way or the other.
So, and it's not like we'll not do that anymore. I just think we're trying to think a little bigger. And I always, when I come in on a new fundraising consulting project, I always think like, what's the magic wand? If you guys do have double the money next year, would you even know what to do? It's kind of fun to think beyond the current status and then think of what that could mean. So
If we're gonna be interactive, can I say?
Yeah, I was actually about to say,
You're no question. So you're talking to us.
you go for it.
Go ahead,
Yes.
Martha. We could do that version if you want to.
No. What I was just gonna add to that
Yeah.
was, this thing about the sound system in the community was a good
Yeah.
example.
Right.
Where you can't listen to anything there because there's this clicking and popping and everything.
It's very
And so if you
sad.
want to be able to bring people in for events, there's a basic,
Right.
Basic infrastructure.
yeah, I mean,
Needs.
it seems to me that that's where you really want to.
Finishing the community room was one of the things that came
Yeah.
up, like, because if we want to be able to offer more to the community,
Exactly.
that's one of the key spaces, and it's already looking so good, so we got to keep that going. Yeah, so those have been some fun conversations. Did you want to finish on anything?
I was
big
just
picture
gonna
before we do more
also
fundraising stuff?
talk, you touched on it briefly, but I think the NCIP, obviously Diane was instrumental in that. And we're hoping that once,
We all.
oh yeah, I was gonna say, I saw her the most, well, but thank you for everything that you did. And I know once that has, city council is approving that, or there's one more step through city council in April. And so hopefully once that goes through, I think our goal again with fundraising, or where funds will go, is to kind of support what comes out of that. And when there are additional expenses to kind of enhance what updates will be done through that funding, we're hoping to be able to do that in the equipment, furniture, and fixture space is what Brian refers to it as. So fixtures, furnitures, and equipment, furniture and equipment. So that'll be, we'll be able to better define that as that project gets underway. So I think that was mostly it. I think one more thing just to, also with Allie, I was gonna say, I think we're able to do kind of more benchmarking this year in terms of fundraising, which is gonna be really good for us to see, have a better record, I think, over time of how our fundraising effort, what we get in return for our fundraising, efforts, and that will help us a lot, I think, going forward. And then lastly, we do have, obviously I took over for Allie this year. We're experiencing a little bit of turnover at the board level that we're gonna hopefully try to stay on top of. Unfortunately, we had some board members who I joined with who had to step away for various like personal reasons. And so we will have a call for board members going out. So certainly if you know anyone who would be, who would enjoy being on the board, we'd love to have you refer them over to us. And certainly if they have in particular an interest in fund development, that would be excellent. So I think that's.
So you have a sort of job description
We
kind
do.
of thing?
We can get
that
that
you
to
can
everybody.
send-
Yeah, would that be helpful?
You can
Yeah,
send to us, and
certainly.
then we'll know, because if we ask somebody, they'll say, what does it
Okay.
entail?
Yeah.
I don't want to make up something.
Or if you put it on your website, then we could, you could give us the
Right,
link
right.
and we'd hand the link over to
Basically,
somebody
when
who
we're in
expresses
nomination
interest.
mode,
Yeah.
we'll remind you guys when
Yeah,
it's
that
on
was
the
just
Somewhere.
Yes, certainly.
How many?
Well, because we do this every year,
yeah.
and this will be just more slots than usual because we had mid-year turnover due to health and people moving. So we'll be looking for like 3 to 4 this
That's
year.
probably all right.
The quality over quantity,
Yes.
you know? So that's a good segue.
Yeah.
And I'll try to some more fundraising things. So does anyone have any questions specifically for Shannon before I kind of go into some fundraising things?
Oh, I have one.
Oh, go ahead.
You, about the fall campaign,
Oh, yeah.
how did it do? What is it?
So the fall,
It was,
it was MC Gibbs or the letter, probably
The
the
letter.
letter. So the letter,
Yeah.
so it was really great. I mean, we sent out 130 letters. It was to anyone who had made a gift in the last few years, but hadn't yet given in 2025. I think that was what we did. And we did get some gifts in from that, but the reason I didn't even care to track it too closely is because it was such a lead up to MC Gives that I think what happens a lot in fundraising, of course, is people, they get the letter, they think about it, and then before you know it, it was MC Gives and we're emailing and everything. And so we don't know when or why people always give, but I'm really glad we got the letter in people's inboxes because it had been a long time. But do you have anything to add, Julie, about actual checks that came in?
We collected everything and
She
sent
got the
out the
checks.
letters. We got maybe 25, 30 returns so far, but we're still
Yeah,
getting
that's
them in,
awesome.
Yeah,
actually,
that's
in the
Oh,
mail.
that's cool. Oh,
They're
good.
still
I'm glad
coming
they're
in, so,
nice.
yes.
Sweet. Actually, that's awesome
And
to
so
know.
maybe the thought would be next year to do it in summer.
Well, yeah, I think the
probably
best
early.
cadence is like late spring and then early fall, like August, because then it's a little bit more of a
When people come
separation.
back from
Yes.
vacation.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
campaigns, like a
Yeah.
spring one and, yeah, exactly. So, agreed. Yeah, thank you, Julie. I totally didn't know you'd been just still collecting those bad boys. That's awesome. So, yeah, so that was kind of one of our first efforts of the year. And I'll just kind of go through some of the different categories of fundraising that we've been doing. But just to set the stage, I was really excited because I haven't seen you all in this format since we did do that transition. And it was sort of Brian's idea to finally, we'd been having all these swirling conversations, right? A lot of us too, about what to do about fundraising. There was that position that was open, what do we do? And I just am grateful to Brian and everyone who sort of approved it to move forward with switching to this model. And what I also like about it is it's the first time that MPLF&F has really sort of invested in a position of any sort for any meaningful amount of time. And it's something that could be something we do more of in the future. You know, we are a fully established 501c3 that can pay contractors to do projects. And so we were just talking today about how that's sort of something, it's a model we're testing that we could try out in other areas as well. Because in the fundraising world, you know, we say you gotta spend money to make money, and it's kind of nice to just invest in yourself like that. So it's been fun to do that. And since we had a few years that were without someone in that more that development coordinator role, I did see kind of what Shannon was saying. It's just nice to set a little bit of a established like just set the stage and kind of get back to basics on optimizing fundraising, because we just had a couple of years where we weren't doing the basic stuff even. We weren't sending out the letters or, so this year we just try to do the basics, do the campaigns, letters, MC Gives, the events, and then we'll have some metrics to kind of base things on moving forward. So I'll just speak to MC Gives, and then I do have a update that I can send out after so you can get a better look at the numbers, because I did a comparison to previous years, and this year was amazing. And I want to thank everyone in the room for the donations that many of you gave. We had a goal of $70,000, which would have been about a 10K higher than previous years. And at this point, we're already at 85,000, and we haven't even received the match that will come from the foundation, because they always submit a little bit of a match. Last year it was about, I think, what did I say, like 10% of a match of what you get. So that could easily be a nice additional chunk. So I'm just really grateful for that. Last year we had about 150 donors. This year we had 208 donors. So we did have a lot more people and with bigger gifts. I'm also really excited about a couple of donors that really elevated their gift size. And we had one in particular that made a generous stock gift at the end of the campaign because they wanted to help us reach our goal, and they made an $11,000 gift, which when I'm trying to work on our individual giving and cultivate meaningful gifts, that was just really, really exciting to see, because we want more of that. And they came in and helped us cross the finish line. So all
So
went
shares
well.
of stock are acceptable.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons MC Gives is helpful, because it all goes through the community foundation, so they can kind of handle some of those trickier sort of things, and then we just get the check at the end of the day. So thanks to everyone who helped with that, and the communications committee has been doing a great job making our designs and helping with things like the newsletter and social and things like that. The next thing that our energy is on, of course, Well, I won't skip the karaoke night. We did a funny new little, we did a karaoke night at Savina Wine Bar. I would sort of put that in our category of our dine around towns. Like we have these events where you can go and have fun and then we get a percentage of the proceeds. But Savina Wine Bar, that was sort of a different and fun one because it was karaoke and, you know, just that's, how can you not go wrong with
I was sad I missed
library
it.
people at a karaoke
Yes.
bar?
Was it well attended?
It was, and I think we ended up with about just under $300 from that or something. So it's not big dollars, but it's about the fundraising and the, you know, the fun of it all. Sam Buttrey was there with Alinda, you know, just causing a ruckus, and it was great. So chocolate and wine is the current focus, and my role in the fundraising part is basically to help with things like corporate outreach, trying to get some corporate and business partners and donations, and also trying to just make sure that all of our wonderful local donors have a chance to hopefully come and attend and be part of the fund. So I'm going to use it as an excuse to reach out to some of our supporters and get people to come and have fun. At the end of the day, we decided like ticketing is the other place where a lot of the funds come from. And the more tickets we sell, the more revenue we get from that. And then the less we can spend on things like the vendors provide, the more we end up with at the end of the day. So we're trying to, I'm working with the chairs of the event this year are Maya and Taylor. Taylor Boya and Maya, what's her last name? Wolf. And they're doing great, really organized. So we're just supporting them on that. And I'm trying to see if we can get a little more than usual from the corporate, the corporate business partner piece. And what else is there to say about that? I think one thing we're seeing and facing, people are just a lot. We work with a lot of local businesses to make the event happen. We have the wineries and bakeries and breweries, and everyone's super generous. And we've been struggling with getting commitments more than usual because people are busy. They're strapped on their budget. There's just a little bit more tension in the world. They're like, we love you, but we've been doing this for years. I don't know if this is the year. And so we're having a couple more dropouts than usual. So I'm just floating that as one of the potential challenges. I know all that means is that we're not going to let the crowd go hungry. If we need to buy some beer or buy some snacks, we'll make sure it's a fun event. At the end of the day, that's what's most important. And yeah, I'm just sharing that's some of the struggles I think that could be different this year. And if anyone has ideas or connections or wants to help, you know, with that, feel free to, we're all ears.
So, speaking of donations, you're still doing the auction, the silent auction?
We are, we're still gonna do silent auction.
Donations for the silent auction go where?
Those will be the same.
Same.
We'll start
Same.
collecting them.
Same with the
Us
wine.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think that,
Thank you.
I have some already in my office.
and I think you have the form. Do you have the forms?
Yes, we have forms at the desk
Yeah.
and we have forms ready available.
The goal, Melissa, is that by the time the event comes, you're like squinched into your
Yeah.
desk. You're just covered in
That's fine.
baskets and art and
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Historically,
Just once a year.
most of the food was donated by people who made it and brought it from home.
Yes, I remember that.
And
History,
it didn't feel that way recently.
That's right.
It seems like
Yes.
it's more businesses, local businesses coming in.
Yes.
Um,
Maybe we should go back to potluck vibes this year. Maybe it's. the
Well, I
year
mean,
to-
putting out the call to people to, you know, bring, 4 dozen cookies or something.
No, you know what? I think one thing that isn't out of the realm of possibility at all is that we do have a widening volunteer pool that we could share some of these needs and have like a sign up sort of
Make something
big,
talk, make something
big
talk.
sale style. So that's definitely not a bad idea. I think when we started having local, well-established and well-esteemed bakers that come bring their fancy chocolate, and we started to be able to charge more for that, and we ended up really, that kind of helped elevate the whole thing and filling the room. So, but I think we're always willing to call on the community for help, and that might end up being a great idea. A big change this year that some of you might be aware of as well is that Chris Shake, and they're not able to
Oh,
participate this year because he has a totally, I think he passed the business on to someone else. He's on to some other project and he doesn't have a restaurant in the same way. So he was like, regretful because he knows how big that's been, but we're going to have to find food. So
Savory. He did mostly savory, I think.
yes, savories. So anyway, we'll stay in close touch. We're figuring a lot of this out in the next, week and a half, because then we'll have to But there will be an event, and we've already sold a lot of tickets. And there will be food and wine and all the fun stuff.
How many-
I've had people like Ad Astra, they seem to be friends of mine.
They're just all sort of, they're the ones that are kind of hedging. I've had a couple no's and quite a few maybes and not enough yeses for my liking. But yeah, we'll get there. And there's also some new businesses that we're going to kind of pose it like, this is the opportunity to come join. There's room this year for you, you know.
Get yourself known.
Yeah. So I think we'll do it. But yeah, we're excited. I mean, usually the last few years we've had 300 or more tickets sold, and I didn't get the nearest number, but I think we're already up to definitely over 50, maybe almost 100, which is pretty high. For
Well, and I
this
know
stage.
an email just went out
Yeah.
yesterday.
Today. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting a lot of sales
I
today.
Yeah,
know.
it went today.
I know I saw something, and that always gives us a bump, especially I think 'cause we were like a month out. Or we're
Yeah.
approximately.
It's always
a month
the,
out, so
The early bird
The early
deadline
bird
is
pricing,
always
yeah.
is February 1st, and that's when we get a lot sold. So that'll be exciting. We'll keep you all in the loop on that. Thank you in advance for your general support as always on all that. The next thing I just wanted to talk about is how we're going to make a little bit more time to work with our individual, I'll call them our major donors or our leadership donors. We want to host at least one, but maybe 2 events this spring that are sort of small events that are meant to celebrate and connect with our supporters. As all of you would kind of know, the 49 Society. So that sort of level of donor or longtime donors, and we'll figure out the right people, but our Vice President Carla wants to host one at her home, and Brian talked about maybe doing one here at the library that has sort of a Monterey history focus. So we will stay in close touch and would love for you all to be there for at least one of those. We'll be doing one in, I'm guessing it'll be March and May, but we don't have the dates yet. But those are always kind of fun, just celebrating our donor community and trying to help cultivate the goodwill there. And let's see, what else would I share? We're trying to focus, we haven't really had an updated, with this conversation about where do the funds go, we're trying to create what you would call in the fundraising world our case for support. Like, what do we say? What's our elevator pitch then for what do we say we do and who we are? And there's been plenty of those over the years swirling around, but that's one of my other priorities, is to try to help us come up with a sort of one-pager about what we do, what is funding support, and then, share it around so we all know what we're saying and what we're saying about that. So just getting some good pen to paper on that will be fun. And I think that's it for the key priorities. And then we'll look, once the sort of end of the fiscal year has closed out, we'll be able to review, learn, decide what to do next, and then hopefully come up with more of a 3 to 5 year plan for a little bit of that longer term plan for fundraising goals and strategies and things like that. But once we've got
That
a
was
chance to
exactly
see
the
this.
question I was going to ask about a fundraising plan.
Yeah.
sort of general thing. In some sense, you have a lot of the elements of that. You
Right.
just told us about. But to have
Yes. And I will share the closest we have to that for this year is sort of what I just said, the different strategies and activities. And then we have goals for the different projects and programs. We had an MC Gives goal. We'll have a goal for spring fundraising. So I'll share that. And then our goal at the end of this year would be to create a little bit of that longer plan. You guys have any questions about any of that?
You've referred several times to the year. You mean how much, so far this year compared to another? Is that a fiscal year, July 1 to June 30?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
So we're
this year.
like 9 months into it or so.
Right, yeah. As of the end of March, we will be 3/4 of the way through the fiscal year.
So that doesn't even include the income from the chocolate wine.
Right. The numbers that come in at the end of the year are always, pretty crazy, because actually MC Gives hasn't even come in.
Oh yeah, you
tangibly.
said we
So
still.
we get that check right when we get right when chocolate and wine is basically happening. And then we'll be doing a spring fundraising push. And then we're spending more, which is good on things like these little events, hopefully, and things like the mailings. So it'll be a different year on the financials than last year with how much we're hopefully bringing in and what's going out. But I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, the other piece is the one about the NCIP.
Yeah.
I don't want to say don't count your chickens till they're
No,
hatched.
right.
You know, because the city has this deficit and you're getting a new city manager and we can all cross our fingers and say it looks really, really, really good. But,
Right.
you know, it's anybody's guess.
Right.
But I would think that we should all, or many of us, plan to show up at the April meeting.
Yes, that was
And,
mentioned at our meeting.
And,
yeah.
and say something nice about the library before they do their deliberations and learn about where the money's going. I mean,
You're talking about the April council meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
What's
I'm
the date
thinking
for that
that
one again?
I think it was April.
What if like a lot of people showed up? Does that even matter? Like what if we just had hordes of people?
That's-
Like hurrah, hurrah. Would that help or be annoying?
Well,
I'm imagining
I
Gilbert
think-
Girls right now. I'm imagining like,
Well, I think there's
The
even a
tactics.
silent presence,
Yeah.
where somebody
Yeah.
can say, here are all the supporters of the library. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we have to be disruptive about it, but I'm
Well,
just
yeah.
thinking, you know, my sense is if they go ahead and fund,
Mhm.
then we're fine because of where we are on the priority list. But
Yeah.
you know, this is an anomalous year. Of course, every year is an anomalous year. This was more anomalous.
Right.
No, it's been particularly challenging.
But, you know, fingers crossed, and luckily
seven.
there's this other money to do some of these things like fix the sound system.
Right.
and Keep the library stuff together until
Right.
we get those renovations.
April 7th.
Okay, so the day before our next board meeting.
Well, that's good.
I
You'll have
think,
something to
unless I have it
celebrate.
wrong, yeah.
We'll be
Unless I
talking
have
about stuff. Yeah.
Second Wednesday, right? Yeah, that's the earliest. Yeah, but
so something hopefully to report on.
yeah,
You
it
know,
was mentioned at our most recent board meeting.
Yeah.
Is there anything more than the January meeting to report to us? Because Diane often does that.
Does it
but-
gives you
Yeah,
that?
but she's not.
I was gonna say I think we covered a lot because we had the discussion about what Brian kind of identified where we can proactively fund. That was a large part of the discussion. We did have a wish list for a smaller vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was approved. We moved some funds that had been approved for an
E-bike.
e-bike that was going to serve somewhat of a similar function. So I think that came out to roughly a funding of about 42,000 at this point for that.
Yeah.
So that was for us, a larger wish list
Yeah.
item than what I think I've approved during my
That's what we've been
tenure. So
saving
that's
for.
so that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
That's good.
That's
And
good.
yeah, I think
He had mentioned it to us
Oh,
that
good.
that might be a possibility.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad to hear that.
yes. So
That's
that, and then
good.
if there's, I think if there's a range based on the vehicles that have been identified, it also might be some of the MC Gives funding as well. And the goal is also to wrap the vehicle and be able to identify it as an MC Gives and Friends purchase. Yes, thank you. That's the best way to put it. So that was discussed. Updates on the library side, and we talked about the nominations, MC Gives, and chocolate and wine. So I think we've touched. I think we have touched on everything.
Any author talks planned?
There are two, but they're tentative. They're tentative at this point, and probably will be post chocolate and wine. So yeah, they're in the works. And then we do have the expanded bookseller hour, or what do they call it? Why am I? They have their own
sale times.
No, I can't remember. But anyway, they so it's now open Saturdays from 12 to 2 as well. In addition to
You're talking about in the
Wednesday,
back
12 to 2.
parking lot,
Yes.
that door?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, you must have read my mind. I was just going to ask if, any publicity was being made about being able to not just donate used books, but buy on Wednesdays. And I guess that's true as well on Saturday now,
Yes, and so those new
but from that
hours-
location.
Yeah, and those hours have gone out along with that. It's both donation and purchase.
12
Yeah.
to 2, Wednesdays and Saturdays. You may browse, shop, and donate in the library basement.
Yeah, that was in
Wednesday
our-
through Saturday.
no, just
Oh,
Wednesday
yeah.
and Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's exciting. And then we did get the lockers.
I
Were
like that they're
just
calling it a best.
bestseller. Thank you. That's what it was. That's what I was trying to remember.
Get
Their
bestseller.
bestseller. Yes.
Oh,
CELLAR.
CEL. That's cute.
I knew there was a cute name. It was just like
I
I'm
didn't
not
know that
quite-
one yet. Okay, we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
need a
like
sign.
that.
That's
Yeah.
cute.
So yeah, and then I guess also just in terms of book sales, they had the 3-day or 2-day book sale in December, the holiday one, and they marketed it as a crawl, which was kind of cool and partnered with
all
the
the other.
local other libraries. So that was fun.
Did it do
Um,
well?
It did. I think people enjoyed the collaboration. I think that was helpful for everyone, and so that was a great decision or idea to make that happen. So I think that's going through all the committees. I think, yeah, we're gathering volunteers for Chocolate and Wine. Big Sur will be here before we know it in April. So we always staff an information booth there. So I know we'll be reaching out to our volunteers about that as well. So, yeah, I think that going through all the committees, I think we've touched on all of the activities.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Do we
Hey,
do public comment after the presentations? or
I'll
at the
tell you,
end?
are there any more questions or comments from the group here? And if not, are there any members of the public who are
No members. in-
hanging around and they have questions?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Thank you guys.
Boy, it's almost exhausting listening to all the stuff that you're doing. Wow.
Thank you so much.
This is our
But-
busy time. It's a good time to
Yeah.
be here and come. So thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm sorry it took us so long
It
it took me so long to get here. The scheduling just didn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
work.
good. It's the best
Well,
time.
feel
Yeah,
free
I
to
love
come
it.
to any of our meetings and
Thank you.
we will make time, one way or the other for anything you have to say.
Appreciate that very
Really
much.
Share with us.
appreciate it.
Yes, and in the meantime, having Diane as a liaison is great.
I'm
She
sure
does a
she's
great
one
great.
foot in the
Yes.
She's the best liaison because she's just,
She's-
oh gosh, she's
very
deeply involved in
involved.
everything.
Yeah.
She cares
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank
We'll come
you.
again.
Thank you so
Stay in
much.
touch. Thank you.
Then we shall move on to
Right.
item number 2 on our agenda, which is the presentation about the lockers.
Yeah.
And is that you?
That's gonna be me.
That's what I
So,
Thank you.
yeah, so we, as you know, we have been working on getting these rolling out and in use for some time. So they were initially installed back in August. And although the physical installation happened during that time, we were having a lot of technical kind of issues. There's a lot that goes on with setting it up so that the system can work well with our own catalog and connecting and all those things. So we were able to get them going, and we officially made them live on Tuesday of this week on the 20th.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they are officially working, and as part of the rolling out kind of process, I did work pretty closely with David, who is our tech service specialist, and with his help, we were able to kind of start navigating all the different logistical kind of side of things.
So did you get help from the vendor? I mean, were they
Yes,
helpful?
yes, they
came
were.
in and helped you do
They
that?
were very helpful. We were communicating with them. They were in Texas, so there was a time difference, so that kind of sometimes got in the way. But they were helpful. So we were in communication with them and doing a lot of different experimenting to make sure we were able to get these going. But yeah, so David also was our kind of main tech liaison for all of that. And then of course Kim also helped a lot with getting sort of an idea of what the schedule would look like, because this is a new service that we're adding, which means that we also need to consider the the operational kind of impact with staffing it and making sure that we're getting out there. because it is a service that is for folks to pick up their items, but they can also return items there as well. And so we wanted to make sure that we were able to have a plan. So Kim helped in creating a plan so that staff are ready to go out 2 to 3 times a week so that we can fill them up and also make sure that we're collecting the items. So what I wanted to share with you is sort of the marketing kind of materials that we made. We did want to make sure that we created bilingual marketing materials because one of the sites that we do have is in the Montecito neighborhood, where we do see more of our Spanish-speaking community members there. So that's a way for us to try to make sure that they know we're there for them. And so here is, for example, I'll show you, these are the bookmarks that we made.
Oh, yay.
So these are bookmarks that we are distributing. We did provide some of these to the sports center, so they have them there ready to give out to, I'm gonna give you each in English and Spanish, yeah. And so this kind of gives you a little overview of what the lockers are, how they function. So these are accessible 24/7. That's kind of the big push, right? Like people's work schedules may not be compatible with the hours of, the library's hours. So with this, we are offering the ability for folks that want to be able to pick up their holds late at night or super early in the morning. They have the choice of picking them up at either site. So you have Montecito or you have the Sports Center. And
Yes, I noticed that it showed up on the app.
yeah.
In fact, I put a book on there.
Yay.
To pick it up, but they haven't put it in.
When did you put your hold in?
Yesterday.
It should be, we have a stack. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll
So
be
you
going
put it
tomorrow
like
morning.
Every couple days.
It's, yeah, so we're aiming for right now we're aiming for 3 days a week. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are the days that we're.
Which means if somebody put in a request,
On Monday.
whichever one of those days came next is when they
Yes.
could find the book
Yes,
after approximately what time of the day?
hopefully,
Midday?
yeah. Hopefully, I mean, if it depends on the status of the item, is it something that's available now on the
Well, let's
shelf?
assume it's
Yeah,
that.
okay, then yeah,
I picked something specifically that was on the shelf.
Oh,
I knew
okay.
It was on the shelf. So
Yeah.
I could see
yeah.
how it worked.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I would recommend all of you to do that just to kind of give it a shot. Yeah, I mean, we want to stick to the 3 days. We do understand if there is a staff sudden absence and we might need to move things around a bit, but our goal is to try to get them there 3 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week. One of the things that I do want, to share is that we are offering this to be something convenient for access 24/7. It does not necessarily mean that it's going to be faster.
Right.
If you want something immediate,
Yeah.
come to the library. But if it's something that you would rather do because of your schedule, then this is an option to do that. And so also we did work on the website. So that's something that I wanted to share with you all. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. Let's do the screen here. Okay. And
Will this show us how to go on, pick a book that's on the shelf, and instead of saying, I'll pick it up at the library, you have choices
Yeah.
of where you're gonna pick it up? Is one of
Just
those
another
options a locker somewhere?
Yeah, there's 2 of them. One says Montecito.
Oh,
one says-
okay. In that same
Mhm.
drop down.
Drop down.
okay, so
Okay,
let
just
me.
That's how you do it. Okay.
So sorry. I had this figured out earlier. And then, okay. All right, so yes, so let me go ahead. And so these are the flyers, the posters that we put around. So these are flyers that you probably saw in the library. So we do have, and we did it in both English and Spanish. All of the marketing materials also have the QR code. So the QR code is important because if you're on site and you scan the QR, and you could actually test it right now if you would like on the bookmarks, it's going to link you directly to the website, the page for the hold pickup lockers, which you could find right here. So there they are. And so now this gives you a little overview. It gives you step-by-step. How do you do it? It links to the catalog where you can sign into your account.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. And also a really cool feature that we wanted to make for people to know, because you do need to have your actual card with you to use the locker, or you could use the app. So
You can use the app.
yes,
Good.
yes.
Good.
So this
It says scan your card, so when you just.
so so when you do you can pick your card and then you could just do that. You'll be able to scan with your phone.
So you don't need your card at all.
If, as long as you have your card loaded on
As
your
long as you
app.
have a picture of the card on your phone.
Mhm, it could
So you're
scan.
using the card, but it's a.
You're using the card, but you're using it through the app, so you don't have to have the physical card with you.
I'm
You could-
trying to
Yeah, I can show
understand.
you after. So
Okay.
it's, the app should have the library card, and when you open it up, it should have the barcode of
Yes.
your,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay,
yeah, and so then you
okay.
scan it,
So
and
it's not the
then,
card, but it's the
Everybody
picture.
has
of
to
it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
look
right.
now.
yeah.
Everybody
It's
has to-
It's
this.
an image of the card.
Yes.
There's no barcode, it's just that.
Oh,
There you
yes,
go.
there you go.
Took a second.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yay, because I was over there this morning and it said scan your library
Yeah.
card. I said, shoot, I forgot the card.
well, you had it in, you had your phone, yeah.
Okay.
So, and you also do need that for returning items as well. So, because that's the only way you're able to open. And I'll show you a
Open it up.
video that we made right now as well
Okay.
that shows you the step by step.
Brian told me that the emphasis is going to be on picking up books more
Yes.
so than dropping off books that you're finished with.
Ideally, yeah. I mean, I think, and one of the reasons why is also the return bin isn't too big. It's actually
Somebody
kind
has
of,
to slap
yeah.
it over there.
So, I mean, we're trying to get out there as often as we can, but it can get full pretty fast. The size of it isn't, it's not too big. And then we have also made some videos. So this is Esme, who is one of our staff members. It's her and her daughter. She is one of our bookmobile staff members that is going to be doing the lockers. So she's one of our main locker staff members. So I wanted to show you all video. So it shows you the list of items. Yes, it pops right open.
After
Yeah.
card.
Yeah, and this is how to return your items. So there's the app right there. You can scan it.
You can return them anywhere.
Yeah, there's a return.
Or the specific.
Yeah, it opens up. And we labeled the return bin now, so there is actual return form. And then you just close your door. Mhm. Out. And there you go. Yay.
So who painted those things?
The wrap, it's actually a vinyl wrap,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
Brian designed it, of course.
Yeah.
And he did actually earn Best Wrap Award by the vendor. The vendor, I guess, every year does an award
Uh-huh.
for the
wow.
best wrap. And
Well, that's
so,
the way at least in the past, the bookmobile got decorated.
oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So I remember going with Inga over to an outfit it's off of Del Monte as you head towards Seaside. And
They painted it?
and it wasn't going to be painted on. They electronically create the image on something, which then they stretch and it adheres to the
Yeah.
to the vehicle.
Wow, so it's the same thing with this
And it
thing.
sounds like the same
Yeah.
or a similar process.
Yeah, so that's the website. We also do have a list of frequently asked questions that you can see here. And this is where you will see this is something that I worked with staff, like we discussed in great length, like what are some obvious questions that people might ask. If you, as you start testing them, I would love to hear feedback from you all. If there's something that you think would be helpful for people. But some of them, common questions are like, what are these? Like, why are we doing this? Like, where are they located?
Well, I think the important one there is how long will it be waiting? Will it be there? And
Yeah,
how soon do I have to go and get it?
yeah. So 7 days.
Same as
7 days.
upstairs here.
It's the same as
Oh.
here. 7 days.
Oh,
And
7 business days when the library is normally open. the way
it's it's 7 days
No,
from the
I
date
think
that the
it
low.
holds here or something.
Yeah.
I thought it was longer than that. Yeah.
No, it's 7 days, right, Kim? It's 7 days. Yeah. Okay.
It says your
Well,
home
there
is
you are.
available and it
Yeah.
gives you a date on your
Yeah,
email.
yeah, pick up
Says
by
this
this
is-
date.
Yeah. And then also another, oh yeah, so one thing that we definitely is important is that not everything can be picked up at the hold locker. So library of things items cannot be picked up at lockers. So that includes like the telescopes,
Oh, yeah, right.
you know, big oversized items. It's not the place for that. So if, let's say, somebody were to put a hold for those items and they did select the locker, we would identify it during our, you know, the way that when we start pulling those items based on our report, we would then contact the patron directly and be like, hey, just so you know, this isn't going to work. You have to come to the library to pick it up. And then another question that we wanted to make sure people knew was about ADA access, because they are pretty tall. So for somebody who may not be able to reach the top lockers, we needed to find a way to make sure that we could identify their account specifically. So there is a way. David was great at helping me figure that out. So now when you put a hold when a patron puts a hold online, it asks you, do you need ADA accommodation? You put no or yes. And if you were to put yes, it would flag their items so that we know to fill in
Put it
in a lower locker. Yeah. So, so since they've been live on Tuesday, we've had quite a few. So we went out yesterday morning was our first morning filling them up, and there were items in the return bins as well, like a good amount, like 8 to 10 items per site. So we collected those, brought them back. So they immediately were being used on the first day. So it's very cool. Yeah. Any questions at all about these lockers? Feel free to ask away.
They're wonderful.
Yeah.
It's great. We could have used those during the pandemic without having instead of having
Yeah.
somebody sit there and go get the book.
And some systems do place them directly outside the library. So just so you know, I wasn't here when Brian worked on the sites, but I believe the goal with these was more of spreading kind of our services throughout the city. And, you know, having these partnerships, like the partnership with the support center, I think is a strong one, because when we were there labeling the lockers, I was there with the staff members that are going to be working with them. We had so many people stopping us to ask questions. And there was like 2 different moms that were like, oh, this is so great because I bring the kids here for swimming, but it's just so much moving around. So now I know that I could just do it here. So I could pick up my books here and take the kids to the swimming classes and just go home. So that was exciting for us to be able to get that direct feedback.
Is the longer range plan to have lockers like this here so that on a day when the inside is closed,
Yeah.
people will be able to come and do this sort of thing?
We haven't discussed that yet. I don't know if that's the goal right now, but we'll see. We'll see how this works with just these. But yeah, from my understanding that we haven't discussed that yet.
Because the obtaining like we have, that was something that it's been on the board agenda for a long time.
Yeah.
And it was mostly discussed about, well, where are we going to put it vis-a-vis this building?
Yeah.
You know, he said, well, we'll put it over there. No, you can't put it over there because there's a loading dock and cars are going to be coming back and forth. You don't want traffic 3 inches from the rear end of a patron who's bending over to get a book out of a thing, right?
Oh gosh.
And you know, so there was that discussion.
Yeah.
You know, we said, how about in the back? Well, it's such a small space that people are going to drive it.
Yeah.
And then their cars, while they're going to the locker, are going to botch everything up. So it's not a new thing, but I mean, you know, we're only open 5.5 days now.
Yeah.
And I would think that we could accommodate a lot more patrons if there were a way for them to do this.
Right outside the facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the sports center is not very far away.
It's not very far
Well, they could
away.
drive there.
The conference center. I
Yeah.
mean, this place is not so easy to park.
Yeah.
I guess at night you could park in the back.
Well, yeah, the big parking lot right next door here, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah, the sports center is not too far. I think we'll learn a lot from this experiment. So we'll see how it's working. But so far, I mean, we weren't sure. We really had no idea what to expect the first week, but they're definitely getting used.
CSAMB's had them for a while. And
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Oh, good.
It's just
Yes.
great.
I can imagine students scheduled
Yeah.
are all over the place. So yeah. Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And, you know, just like it's fun when you come in and you see a mother, usually it's a mother during the day, with little kids.
Yeah.
They're big enough to like return books, and there was one little girl, they often check out a stack of
Yeah.
kid-sized books, or and she would say goodbye, Big Bear, and put the book
Aw.
in, and goodbye, Mary Poppins, and put the book in, and each one
Sweet.
she would say goodbye to. So this could
Yeah, I can imagine kids being excited to use it for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anybody from the public who's hanging around that have questions about the book lockers?
Nope, no one.
Okay, are there any more questions or comments from the board or staff that are here?
Nope.
Then we will go to our last item, actually, which is to approve the consent agenda, which consists of 4 items. The approval of the minutes from our December meeting, plus the 3 informational reports. And those, as it says here, are to be adopted by one motion unless one of the 3 of us, or a member of the public, if there were somebody, wants to pull any of these 4 items and consider it a separate agenda item for discussion and question and so forth. So does anybody want to do that? If not, then I would love to have somebody make a motion to approve the 4-item consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion of the motion from either public listeners or people present here?
No one online.
Okay, if not, then all the board members in favor of the motion? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Okay, well, that's the end of the consent agenda and the end of the listed items on our meeting agenda. Are there any comments from the public? This is time for general public comments?
Nope.
Nope. Are there any additional comments from the trustees?
Is this
This is,
the trustee
yes.
Trustee comments?
comment time? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we decided that instead of it being an agenda item, that I would just briefly report to you what Diane and I have been doing to work on the little
Advocacy.
one pager or
Oh, yeah.
folder or whatever. And
What's the title of that? Quotable something? Oh, facts.
yeah, well, anyway, and Ally mentioned that she is working on the elevator speech kind of thing. So I'm not sure what Diane and Ally have talked about, but Diane and I did some research, came up with a sort of a plan, and we have a one pager now, front and back, and we're going to condense it down into smaller versions or maybe a bookmark or something like that. But it still needs to go by Brian. It needs to come to you. And Diane mentioned that she was talking to somebody on the Friends board and Carrie about possibly, interacting with us to come up with this. So if there's 2 things going, one from Ellie and one from the board, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I didn't want to say anything, but there's all kinds of stuff out there, from ALA and other libraries in the country. They have all this advocacy information. And so what I want to do, not just this little blurb, I want to come up with a non-inventing the wheel thing of a resource kit about what's out there and links to what you can do, so you don't have to write your own specifically all the time. What I have for a little theme is making the case for Monterey Public Library, where CASE is an acronym, community access, support and education, and then little blurbs under those. And so anyway, we'll show it to you next time.
And ultimately in the form of a little.
Well,
Fold
yeah,
out like
it
that?
can be like this. We'd have to condense it, you know. And
Can you repeat the acronym again, please?
okay, it's making the case for Monterey Public Library, and its case is community, access, support,
Okay.
and
Education. you said.
education. Yeah.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so we've gotten that far, and then we did get a chance to bring it to either the board or to Brian, and so next month.
Yes, it makes sense to get the foundation, the Friends of Foundation
Yeah.
people and us together.
Yeah,
If they're doing something.
right.
To put us in
Yeah,
the
I
same
wasn't
room
sure
and
if Ally was
tweak what
doing
you-
it or, yeah. Because, I mean, it doesn't have to be the way I did it. This was just
Well, you
something
don't
I
want to
came up
duplicate
with.
effort either.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
right,
but if they're already working on something, and, you know, there's so much stuff out there. Like, one public library on the East Coast has this little, let's see, got it. Oh, value of your library use. So you put in, you know, how many books you checked out, or how many magazines you read in the library, how many ebooks, how many programs did you go to, and it comes up with a numerical value for you. So
Oh,
you could do it for
cool.
your whole statistical thing for your library. That hey, you got this much out of your library use.
And
or
those
an
numbers are
individual.
like how much they got in terms of value, dollar value of it.
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
and I don't know how they came up with the algorithm for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just kind of interesting. And there's all these checklists for library advocates.
Yeah.
And this and this and this. So anyway, I was out of the advocacy business for a while, but now I'm
Now you're
enthusiastic
back in.
again.
Well, the one
So-
thing I think is this is really neat, except the font is too small for a lot of
Yeah,
people. So we
yeah.
need to have it be
Yeah.
bigger or provide, and I can give you an example. I mean, they're at home,
yeah.
but when I was managing the Medicare advising program, we often handed out these little magnifying glasses that are the size of a credit card, the size of a credit
Yeah.
card. So you can put it in your wallet right next to your Visa.
Yeah.
And you would take that out and it, you know,
Yeah.
I always told the seniors I was doing workshops with that, well, this is for you to take, and if you're still using a road map in the car, you know, you can read it. And, but I think something bigger than that, especially for the older population, would
Yeah.
be good.
Well, we talked in terms of a trifold or a
Mhm.
bookmark like these.
Mhm.
Yeah.
These
That could be, and yeah, and if it's linked to some type of a web page, you could always do the QR code too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things to do. Yeah.
But I think that before you figure out the form.
Yeah,
you gotta get
right.
the content.
Content, yes.
Yeah, no.
So,
those-
anyway,
Mhm.
so that's my report.
Sounds good.
Any other board member comments, Marcia?
Nothing except everybody seems to be doing a wonderful job. The library seems to be, always moving ahead with things that make it better.
Oh.
And thank you all for.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Right,
support.
and I think that somehow, once he or she starts working, whoever the new city managers are gonna be, that one or two people from the board and one or two staff people ought to try to schedule a meeting with that
Yeah,
individual.
for sure.
Because, who knows what their background is or where they're coming from. If they're coming from, say, another town, a smaller city and coming to Monterey, which is small, but maybe this operation citywide is a step up in their professional career, that kind of thing. It'd be good to make them as informed as possible and invite them to some things like the board meetings and, chocolate and wine if they're, well, I don't know if they'll be here by mid-February or not, but
Yeah,
because they're just going to announce it barely by beginning of February, I think, aren't they?
I think so. I don't
Yeah,
That's
know.
what I read.
they said the next city
That's
council meeting,
okay.
they're gonna ratify everything.
Oh,
They're
then,
hammering out the details.
The contract stuff right now, I think.
Right.
I think they're in
They
negotiations.
said that February.
Okay.
fourth meeting.
Hmm.
That's what it says.
How exciting.
I wrote it somewhere, yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Well then, if nobody has any further comments and nobody is opposed, the chair of the meeting will declare it adjourned.
All right. Do we want to do library director comments? I know Brian's not here, but
Oh, I'm
Go.
sorry. That would be
I can
you.
I can give some updates.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's
Skipped
my
right over
time to
that.
shine.
Didn't mean to.
Okay. No, I mean, I think the main thing we've kind of been celebrating this week is our locker lounge. But also we do
Yeah.
have a new bookmobile coordinator full time that started
That
this
was in
week.
the activity report. or
Yes,
something.
yeah. So Micah Whitaker, they came to us from the county. They were the bookmobile coordinator over there. They're learning very quickly. Today, I was up with them doing some routes, and they were already bossing me around. So they're they're very capable.
Very experienced, I
Yes,
know.
they
are.
And
Yeah.
And tell them that they're not allowed to quit.
We talked about how it seems to have been like a year kind of trend for a lot of the previous people in that position. So the pressure is on for them to stay. That's for sure.
Jinx there. then-
Yeah.
And since we, the board, has been so active in discussing and everything, the bookmobile itself,
Yeah.
could we invite the new bookmobile staff members to a meeting here? Just, you know,
Yeah, we can
a
plan
meet
on
and
that.
greet kind of thing.
Absolutely. We could do a future meeting where they talk, because now we have a full staff right now with the bookmobile team now. Because we have Micah and then we also have Esme, who's our part-timer, and they're also the ones doing the lockers. So I think that would be something we could plan and we could
That'd be
present on
excellent.
outreach and
Yeah, and
bookmobile.
at our February
Yeah.
meeting, you know,
Yeah,
4
we'll
or 5
talk.
weeks from now.
We'll talk because I do think that would be good for them to meet you all.
They just started when? Just.
They just started this week, so
Yeah.
Well,
Last
maybe
Friday.
February.
I was gonna say maybe March or April, although
yeah.
I think Brian usually likes people to get settled first.
yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's not to you know. tear
Because
us up.
if they have their own ideas, they might need some time to like,
That's true.
you know,
That's
Yeah.
what kind of.
implement their own ideas.
Yeah, I think that's true. You want to give them a couple of months to take it all in.
But sooner or
And
later,
then-
I think, we
Yeah,
ought to
yeah, yeah.
absolutely,
No, absolutely, and I think I know they would be willing to do that.
not just let them
Um,
work months and months and months and months without
Yeah.
We're gonna hide them from you.
any attention. Yeah, I know.
We're protecting them as much as no. Just
March or April.
I think March or April is a little bit more. Yeah, that's true. So the other big thing that we're working, well, it's not, I mean, it's something that I need to move a little faster on because it's coming up, but the statewide, so talking about advocacy, there's a lot of efforts in the state level for advocacy. And so one of the ways the state library is trying to do that is by doing a statewide survey. So they're calling it, oh my gosh, tell us your stories. Kim, what is it?
Oh man,
I've been
seen a
reading-
million- They've been sending emails like every day.
I've been literally reading my brain. So,
So
okay.
this is beyond data collection.
It's actually a very simple, I mean, you're all gonna take it. I'm gonna make you all take
Every
it.
story counts.
Every story counts. It's like
Oh.
5 questions. It's designed to be a very quick, fast survey, and it's the same
Very
questions. Yeah, it's very brief. All the libraries throughout the state are doing it. And so they are compiling kind of as a way to get direct feedback from patrons.
Okay,
Yeah.
not just staff, but
No,
No,
it's
it's
patrons.
patrons,
Yeah. So I'm gonna be working on pushing out social media for that starting tomorrow, and it starts next week, and it's from the 25th through Friday, which is the 30 or the Saturday the 31st.
is
And
it
we're-
possible something you can, because you send out emails to a lot of people?
Yeah, we're
Is it
gonna.
possible to make it that I see this and then I can fill it out online and
Yeah,
say?
yeah. No, we're
submit?
gonna link it. So
Good.
it'll be a virtual, it'll be a digital, like you can do it online, but you could also do paper if you'd like. We're gonna have staff kind of roving around the library, encouraging people. We'll have a QR code where they can scan it to do it on their phone. It's very quick survey. You'll be done with it within, 5 to 10 minutes, even less than that probably.
Right.
But yeah, so that's something that we're preparing for next week. And yeah, just staff has just been, it's been nice getting more staff here. I could feel sort of the team starting to kind of like, we're all coming together, we're all sharing ideas. It's been a really exciting, I think, time for MPL. So yeah, it's great. That's all I got.
Is anything being planned for the library to do 4th of July? 'Cause
Oh, I'm sure.
in the past,
Yeah.
they've had a book sale at the outside of.
I don't know what the
Ah.
Friends and Foundation, they haven't done the book sale for a couple of years.
I know, but
Yeah.
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 Well, we always do the bookmobile and the parade.
We'll
but-
definitely do that. Yeah, that's kind of been tradition.
But it'd be nice to have, even if it's a bookmobile, sitting around the park across the street.
Well, we'll be
Where the
in the
music's gonna be.
parade. Yeah.
Parade and then park it, yeah. park it.
Oh yeah, we can.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely look into that.
Yeah,
That's
park
not a
it
bad
there.
idea, actually. Yeah, that's a good, yeah,
And the,
Right next to
They have all
the
the food
most popular
vendors.
food truck.
yeah, right next to him.
and the 250-year whatever.
Oh
coming
yes,
up, yeah.
that's coming up too. So that'll be, yeah. So I'll be talking to Brian about that. 'Cause I'm sure there'll be a lot of events for the museum side of things, which would also be connected with the library. So yeah. It'll
Quarter of
be-
a century, we ought to do something with that phrase.
Yeah.
Well, remember, the 250th birthday of Monterey, they had all those things planned and then the pandemic. hit.
Oh,
Because Monterey is older than the country.
yeah.
And it
Uh-huh.
was 2020.
Oh wow.
They were gonna do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there was
All
big
fizzled
parties and all kinds
They
They
of.
were
buy-
like, they
did
were
they buy all this
fundraising
stuff
for
already?
it. We had merchandise.
I figured.
Oh my
yeah.
God, yeah, and they cancel everything. So
Wow.
maybe this can be
We can.
that
Yeah.
too. I don't know.
Yeah.
We were here first.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
Okay. Apologize for trying to adjourn before we,
it's okay.
okay, any other questions or comments?
Okay.
Go ahead,
Julia? No, I was just wondering if Kim and Julia had anything.
Yeah, from anybody.
Yeah. I
I
know.
think
No.
most of the stuff's been covered. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's been pretty busy with stuff, so Julia's working hard. Julia does a lot of things, so Kim does too. Everybody
Sewing.
does. Everybody has all these little things, and it's what makes,
Uh-huh.
everything just,
Makes the library tick.
yeah.
Richard, they go by fast.
Yes.
No
So
boring
every day
time.
I'm just like, how's it time to go home?
That's good. You wanna be bored.
No, never bored. All right. I think we're
Okay,
good.
we shall adjourn.
Great.
Thank
All
you,
right,
everyone.
At 5:13.
5:13.
Mhm.